I never meant for it to happen. She was my best friend, the kind of friend who knew my coffee order by heart, my favorite movie, and exactly how to make me laugh even when I felt like crying. We'd been inseparable since college. And she was straight. At least, that's what she kept telling me. And herself, her name was Lauren. She had this smile, the kind that could just melt anyone's guard. We did everything together. Movie nights, spontaneous beach trips, drunken karaoke sessions where we'd butcher classic songs. It was always us against the world. But it wasn't until one late night, after maybe one too many glasses of wine, that the line between friendship and something more, it just blurred. It started with a game, a stupid, simple game. Truth or dare, she said, her eyes glinting with mischief. I'm not a daredevil, so I played it safe. Truth, I answered. She leaned in, a little smirk playing on her lips. Have you ever had a crush on me? My heart did this little flip-flop thing. I wanted to laugh it off, to make a joke, but the words wouldn't come. So I just admitted it. Yeah, I said, my voice barely a whisper. I expected her to pull back, to laugh, to make it awkward, but she didn't flinch. Good, she whispered back, and then she kissed me. It was soft and hesitant, the kind of kiss that shouldn't have meant anything, but somehow, in that moment, it meant everything. When we finally pulled apart, we just stared at each other, both of us in a little bit of shock. Then she let out this nervous laugh. We're so drunk, she said, trying to brush it off. Yeah, I lied because I wasn't, not really. I was painfully, completely sober in that moment. The next morning, she acted like nothing had happened, like the whole night was just a fuzzy, wine-induced dream. I tried to do the same, to play along, but every time she smiled at me, my chest ached with the weight of that kiss. A week later, it happened again. This time, there was no alcohol, no game. We were just watching a movie on her couch, our legs tangled up under a big, fluffy blanket. It was comfortable, familiar, and then, suddenly, her hand was on mine. Then it moved to my cheek, and then her hands were everywhere. We didn't talk about it afterward. We never did. It became our secret rhythm, this strange, unspoken cycle, a loop of stolen nights and quiet mornings where we pretended nothing had changed. She'd text me things like, come over, I can't sleep, or I just need you here. And every single time I went, I couldn't not go. She'd kiss me like she meant it, like she was starved for it. She'd touch me with this desperation that made my head spin. And then when it was over, when the sun started to creep through the blinds, she'd pull back into herself, whispering those same words that broke me a little more each time. You know, I am straight, right? It was a constant reminder, a wall she kept building between us, even as we were lying in the same bed. One night, I just couldn't take it anymore. We were lying there, sheets tangled around us, her head resting on my shoulder, everything feeling so perfect and so wrong at the same time. Why do you keep saying that? I asked, my voice soft in the darkness. Saying what? She murmured, half asleep. That you're straight. The room went silent. I could feel her tense up beside me. After a long moment, she let out a heavy sigh. Because I propped myself up on my elbow to look at her. Lauren said, trying to keep my voice steady. You're literally in bed with me right now. Her eyes glistened in the dim light from the street lamp outside. "You're different," she said, as if that explained everything. "It's not like that. You're my best friend." My heart sank. "That's not an answer," I whispered. She sat up, pulling the blanket around her and hugging her knees to her chest. "I don't know what this is, okay? I don't know. When I'm with you, it just feels right. But then when I think about it later, I freak out. It doesn't fit with who I'm supposed to be." And there it was. The truth I think we'd both been avoiding. The pressure, the expectation, the box she felt she had to fit into. I wanted to scream, to tell her how unfair that was, but I knew it wouldn't help. So instead, I reached out and gently touched her hand. "You don't have to label it," I said softly. "You don't have to call it anything. Just stop pretending it doesn't mean anything to you." She looked at me, and I could see in her eyes that she wanted to believe me, that she wanted to let go, but she didn't say a word. Weeks passed. We tried to go back to being just friends, back to normal, but normal didn't exist for us anymore. It was gone. Every glance held a hidden meaning. Every shared laugh was followed by an unspoken question. What are we? The space between us was charged with everything we couldn't say. Then, one Friday night, my doorbell rang. I opened it to find Lauren standing there, her face tear-streaked and her mascara running. "I went on a date," she said, her voice trembling, "with a guy. And the whole time, all I could think about was you." My heart felt like it was being pulled in two directions. I was happy and completely heartbroken all at once. She stepped closer into my apartment, tears still glistening on her cheeks. "I can't stop thinking about you," she whispered, her voice cracking. "When you're not around, it feels wrong. Everything feels wrong." I looked at her, at the raw pain and confusion on her face. "Then stop running from it," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "Stop running from me." And then she kissed me. It wasn't hesitant or confused this time. It was desperate and raw and so incredibly real. It was a kiss of surrender. When we finally pulled apart for air, she pressed her forehead against mine, and we just stood there, breathing each other in. "You scare me," she admitted, her voice muffled against me. "Why?" I asked. "Because when I'm with you," she said, looking up at me, her eyes clearer than I'd ever seen them, "I stop pretending to be someone I'm not." Months passed after that night. We still didn't have a label. She didn't suddenly start calling herself gay or bi. She just called me hers. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. Maybe the labels didn't matter as much as the feeling. One night, as we lay tangled in the dark again, in that familiar, comfortable way, she whispered into the quiet of the room, "You know, maybe I'm not straight." A soft smile spread across my face. "Maybe you never were," I whispered back. She laughed, a quiet, happy sound that filled the entire room. Then she kissed me again, slow and certain and completely unashamed. And for the very first time, I knew, without a single doubt, that she meant it. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If this resonated with you in any way, I'd love it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one.